Hey!
Dang, we're early today.
What?
What's going on over here, guys?
I don't know. Somehow we got here 30 seconds ahead of time.
All right, folks, let's do a quick reintroduction. My name is Carl Choi, publisher of 24/7 Comics, original art collector, and
Film
here
producer.
to help co-host this Valiant TLDR. Pass it to Jason, and then Newell.
Oh, Jason, Southern Comic Geek, all around nerd, and yeah, love talking about it.
I'm Newell T, aka Stingray, begrudging Valiant fan, being dragged along by these two.
I don't know what happened. All of a sudden, like it was just like kind of got his toes wet, and all of a sudden he's in buying Valiant original art, and
I have one piece so far, but I'm sure it won't be the last.
it's happening. So man, like I think you guys saw I was like so excited just like 5 minutes before the show. I don't know why. I've been looking forward to this show literally the whole week. I think we all had a little bit of a summer camp experience. I call it OA summer camp, and it was super fun, man. But one thing we were kind of sad about just now was like we didn't get to hang out much, right? Like we didn't, like we were just like we were totally overwhelmed. What's up, Tom?
Yeah. Well, you had mentioned something about the Magic tournament or whatever. So I got back to my room that night, and I'm like sitting there going through stuff, getting ready to head out in the morning. And I'm like, man, I want to go up there and hang out, but I'm just so tired. So, from getting to OAX to Friday night and all that other kind of stuff. So yeah, I mean, there's just so much to do, which is great. I mean, it says a lot for a con when there's still so much you didn't get to do. Right.
I didn't get to bed before 3 a.m. the whole weekend because there's just so much going on.
Wow, that's pretty impressive. I think I tried to get to bed by like 1:30 every day. And I think a lot of that has to do with just, trying not to burn out the next day.
Yeah.
But you were pretty solid. You were like kind of like everywhere. You took a ton of photos.
I tried.
Cool. Yeah. So I thought it'd be cool to just kind of kick off with our OAX experience. Some of the guys in the chat, Tom and Jewish Dragons. I didn't get to meet you, Jewish Dragons. We'll have to make a plan for that. But we all had a great experience. I think we all loved it. We already kind of mentioned that even though it's such an intimate show, it was still a lot to get through, right? And then on the other side, what were some highlights for you guys? I mean, I think we didn't get to see each other, but I'm sure we all saw a lot of different things throughout.
Well, I mean, I got to do a little impromptu photo shoot with you in the parking lot. That was fun.
That was super fun. That was, it's funny because I'm actually going to be on Ruben's show tomorrow. And it's been kind of a long time coming. And for some reason, we were chatting, trying to figure out good timing. And then I did pick up something that I will not share today because I promised I would premiere it on the show tomorrow.
Oh, you're holding out on us.
Oh, some of you guys saw it, right? Well, I don't know. A lot of people didn't see it, actually, because I picked it up on the very last day at the end. And it's something that's really special to me, and I will premiere it at Ruben's show tomorrow. So tune in to see what that is, and I will do a live calf post. That's what we're gonna do.
Ooh, are you gonna use the app?
Yeah, I'm gonna use the app. Yeah, I'll do everything on the app, and I'll just on live and post it, and then we can all see.
Man, I might have to actually tune in and watch that.
Please tune in. Tune in like 45 minutes after. That's usually when the show actually starts.
This is true. I'm gonna drop the link to the show in the chat, and so if anybody's not familiar with it, they can bookmark the show.
Thanks,
I don't think I was the mayor of the lobby, Tom. I wasn't even in the lobby that much.
Mayor of the lobby.
That's what Tom says.
Let's see. Why story El Salvador? Oh, there we go. Mayor of the hotel lobby. I mean, speaking of pictures and videos, I mean, Tom was shooting up a storm as well. I thought that was one of my highlights, just seeing him being so passionate about capturing content, which we'll get into later. I guess just to update everyone, we have an agenda today. So we're going to talk about our highlights and then some of our kind of wish OAX had maybe next year. And then we're going to go through some of these videos that's been posted about OAX. There's been tons of content compared to last year. And then we're going to dive into our show and tell.
Yeah, Tom did a fair share of video too, like Mill did, because I'm sitting there focused at the auction on a certain piece that might or might not come up a little bit later, and I see this guy at the corner of my eye with this camera like right here, and I'm like, who in the world is that? But I was laser focused. I was going to make sure to win that. And then when I finished it, I turned around as Tom. It just sticks his head. So
I saw that. I think the Tom sent it to me. Did he post it?
I don't know. I haven't seen him post it, but
then okay. Tom may have given me a bit of a preview, so I saw that. It's a really well done shoot for sure, and deservingly so. I was hoping you win that one.
For sure.
In fact, it was funny. Some behind the scenes, and we'll kind of get into it later. Yeah, I mean that was a highlight for me too. Actually, we were at the auction, and both Jason and Andre was gracious enough to let me get first stab at it. We're all talking about it, and then I don't know what happened. Like in the midst of the auction, I looked at my time and I realized they weren't going to get to that piece till like I was gone, which because Newell and I had committed to Steve to go set up at the Magic event, and then we started a Valiant Bros chat group with the three of us and started kind of talking about like paper rock scissors. I mean, what do? We talked about all right, I might not do this anymore, and then started talking about paper rock scissors. Who gets it? And then eventually, I was like, I just kind of took myself out of the race. All right, you guys have at it. So, how did you guys decide? Did you guys have a separate?
He never said nothing else.
Oh, really? Oh, wow.
And the only person I saw, because I was focused on actually bidding, was Dave Kopecky was bidding.
Oh yeah,
because he was at the front, and so that's the only person I saw bidding on it. So I didn't see anybody else in my periphery because I don't know where he was sitting at. So.
We might have to get Dave Kopecky into the Valiant Bros chat.
It's funny because I've never met Dave Kopecky in person, and I think I saw him around a few times during the weekend, but I didn't know that's who that was until I saw photos later.
Yeah, Dave has a great collection, and also another kind of Valiant maxi. I mean, another fun highlight and story was I saw on Facebook Dave posted like tons of pieces. And I literally messaged. I was like, "Dude, where did all those come from, man? I didn't even know like there was so much like old school Valiant stuff." And he basically told me he went to go visit Palmiotti, and Palmiotti sold them at a very, very reasonable price. Like he said, I don't want to throw a price out there, but very reasonable. And then he said the reason behind that was Jimmy said he wants to just spread the love. And then I shared that with Jason, and Jason had a little mini story of what happened as well.
Yeah, so that I'm sure that'll come up later on. So yeah, that was a fun part. But it's the give and take in our hobby, and it's great. And certainly I can't hoard it all, even though I've got as many pages as I do. I can't hoard them all, so somebody else needs them too.
Yeah, so it's hard. I mean, one of those things where could have, would have, and then often when I miss it, I don't miss it that much. I almost kind of like, okay, it would have been nice to have discovered this loot. But I think,
and especially when you know that it's going to somebody that likes it as much as you do.
Right.
Correct.
Yeah. If it was Anthony or somebody like that was buying it to turn around and sell it for twice as much. But and maybe it shouldn't, but I mean, it does.
No, I think sometimes that's good for the hobby too, because sometimes some of these things are undervalued, and when you get a dealer being able to flip something for a certain price, you're kind of like all of a sudden looking at your collection going, oh my gosh, like my collection just popped.
Yeah. And now that they know that we're out here trying to find the Valiant stuff, they might hold it for ransom a little bit,
Well, I've tried that with Anthony multiple times, being the chat's like, see Anthony, Valiant sells. And every time I see him at a show, he's just like,
I mean, speaking of ransom, there was a piece that I was going for last year, about 6-7 months ago. I put an offer, and then a friend of ours basically stopped by the booth, saw it, and was given another price, much lower than what I offered last year. But the dealer actually used my name, saying like, if you don't get it, costing it this much. And then so of course my friend jumped on it, and then when we talked after, I was like, I didn't put an offer today. That was like last year, like 6 months ago, and the dude never got back to me, and that's why it never happened. And
Carl, you're a threat looming in the shadows.
Hilarious. And so we were both kind of like scratching our head, like, what the heck was that? And then, but my friend actually really deserves it. I think it really belongs in that collection.
Well, that's good.
Yeah, no, but morning, Carl. Great to give you
other Carl.
PG-13 Carl.
PG-13 Carl.
In the mix. Yep, definitely caught you in the background. Tom was around.
It was good. Yes.
Oh, yeah. What does TLDR stand for? Too long didn't read, and it's funny because it was kind of it was kind of that when Jason and I was starting this chat, but then now we are actually reading. So it's too long and reading. Do read it. Too long to read.
Yes.
And Tom, that Magneto piece. Who got that Magneto piece? Someone.
Steve Davidge got it.
Oh yeah, Steve got it. I remember leading an OAX. That piece was like someone posted and said, "I want this," and then like multiple people said they were going.
Yeah.
So I was kind of curious.
Well, I only know that he got it because that one came up after we left, Carl, and but he posted it on CAF yesterday, and I was like, "Oh wow, you got it!" So
it's great, good. David the show deliver on page 2.
Nice.
No, Dave's great. Dave's a great guy. A fellow collector. That should a little bit, right? Yes. All right, we're gonna go to fellow collector. Yep, agree. Okay, what are the highlights? Noel, any highlights that you think you saw that we definitely didn't see?
Did you guys ever make it to the special galleries?
I did. Yeah.
I did.
Okay. I mean, those were pretty cool. Getting to see a Frazetta in person for the first time. That
was cool. That was one of my highlights.
And I mean, there was a really nice, decent sized Kaluta piece in there. Like I've liked Kaluta for a while. Like it's weird. Kaluta's one of those artists. Like I saw his art. I liked it when I was younger, but I didn't know who the artist was. And I found out, later, oh, Mike Kaluta. Okay, cool. And I found out he'd done all this other stuff that I really enjoyed, So getting to see a piece by him in person was pretty cool. The whole the gallery with all of the German sci-fi cover art, some of it's like 50, 60, 70 years old. Really, really amazing stuff. I mean, some of it was, magazines and publications I'd never heard of, but it's still really, really impressive. It really captures that retro futurism stuff, And then of course the collections in black. There's a whole issue of Bitterroot by Sanford Green there. Like just lots of really, really, really cool stuff in those special galleries. And I didn't make it out there till Sunday. And when I did, I forgot to take my camera with me, or I would have gotten a lot of pictures of that stuff because those were really, really cool.
Yeah, that was super fun. And I like how the collection in black has a lot of meaning behind it too. And in fact, Hoarder's Hide said, according to Anthony, the entire show is special gallery other than his booth. I mean, speaking of his booth, another highlight was I got to OAX on Thursday around 3 p.m. and then the first thing I saw was Anthony with like a makeshift booth in the middle of the lobby.
I saw a picture of that on Instagram and I was like, wow.
Dude, but literally every time I looked back, he was counting cash. Like literally people were just, spending cash because I think people like wallets were itching,
Yeah.
And he was smart enough to set up that booth. But I heard he got in trouble because I think eventually Bill came across and was like, don't be doing this. Don't be doing this.
Well, he's funny because I saw him at the reception. I hear somebody yell, Stingray! And I turn around and it's Anthony, in his jammies like usual. And he's like, hey, you got to stop by the booth, man. I got lots of cool stuff. I'm like, you got any Stingray art? And he's like, I got a Tuma piece. I'm like, that's not Stingray. He's like, but it's Stingray Jason. I'm like, I might look at it.
Hilarious.
He's a salesperson, that's for sure.
Oh yeah,
yeah. Hoarder's Hide, I think, is referring to a booth that was maybe across from there. It was a pretty cool booth, but I would call the names out. That Anthony was referring to. He did it in a video.
Oh,
that's hilarious.
But no, he as everybody knows, he deals in volume. So I mean, he'd rather make $20 on a piece and move it than sit there and hold it in a museum.
He doesn't like to have inventory.
Well, I mean, he's got a bunch of people that he's got to pay to ship all that stuff and all that kind of stuff. So
he's in production. I mean, like when you go see those like warehouse videos that he does with Bill, he's got a production.
So much stuff.
Yeah, I can't imagine like managing that inventory. I mean, it's just,
right. I mean, it's no wonder that you'll ask for stuff sometimes and he goes, I can't find it.
Really?
Yeah. It's stuff that he's either sold and forgot to take off one website or another, or it's just lost somewhere. Number one Marvel fan. That's not what I heard. I heard that y'all were going to come to fisticuffs or something, you know. But, talking about videos, Swagaholics did
Swag.
We got to meet Swag at the Magic event. I helped him learn to play.
I can't believe you pull the trigger on that Darkhawk page that was available.
Oh, the big one from issue 1.
Yeah. Oh yeah. It's funny. I sent him that even before the show, because I had a little bit of preview of that folder, and I sent it to him. I think it's interesting. You know, it's a matter of time. I feel like he's gonna come across a cover or something, but it's fun. We should actually have him on the show because he's been someone I've been trying to convince to get into original art for a while in many different ways. And
is he not actually part of the gang yet?
Not yeah. He comes from more kind of graded comics space, vintage, and him and I go back like 20 years.
Gotcha.
And so when we kind of reunite in comics, that's kind of the realm he was in. I'm in kind of original art and publishing, and then I'll say, I'll let him tell the story, but right after the show, like he did do a deal, so it's pretty cool.
Okay.
Yeah, he did do a deal. So
one of us.
Yeah. So Mr. Collector actually, from as I understand it, he messaged me today and said that from one of the videos that I took, he had noticed the page and he reached out to the seller and made him an offer on it. So he's a big Miles Morales fan. I don't think he's the kind of wants to part with some of that coin that certain people want for certain appearances of Miles Morales, but he
there was one of those at the booth. Mm-hmm. But yeah, Dan Santos, I was gonna say too, he is such a cool guy. Like, dude, great guy.
Friday night after everything had kind of wound down, I did the bub crawl, and then afterward or something like that, and I needed to wind down a little bit. I wasn't quite ready to go to bed, right? So I was like, I hear that the card guys party kind of late, so I'll see if anybody's still doing anything up there. And so it's like 1:30, 1:45 in the morning, and I go up to the penthouse, and Justin Spidey Hits was still live doing box breaks. And it was cool because he was sitting there with the camera, right? And Dan Dos Santos was right beside him, and they were opening cards and basically passing them to Dan. And Dan was signing them on the spot, and they were selling them, I think, on Whatnot. But it was pretty cool. And I stood there and watched them signing cards till like 2:30 in the morning. Yeah.
Speaking of Spidey Hits, we could maybe pull up some of the recaps that they've been sharing. You know what? I totally forgot to sign the poster this year.
I forgot as well. I'm a dumb.
Darn.
I didn't get a T-shirt either because I was busy running around constantly, and I forgot so many little things like that.
Wait, was there T-shirts this year? I didn't.
Yeah, it was the image from the poster there, the Mannix.
What? Yeah. Everyone gets one?
I think you have to pay for them.
Even still, I would have liked to have gotten one, and I forgot.
I want one. That's awesome. I actually, it's funny. That was one of the things that I was planning on bidding on too, because that's kind of why I gave up on the Valiant thing. I was like, oh man, I should just go for this. But I thought it was gonna be big like last year. Like last year, they had like a huge one, and when they pulled it up, it was just like the 12x18. So I missed this part.
It was still a pretty decent size. Shirts were 25. Okay.
So this was day one. Spidey Hits, Marvel Madness. That's
so I will say too, I thought it was pretty cool. I met a lot of the card guys, the card collectors. I got to meet Justin, Jose, Fausto, Matt, a bunch of those guys. Tony Perna, I met him. He actually did a sketch card during the sketch event on Sunday for me. He did a Stingray, so that was pretty cool. But I've seen the card guys around a lot on YouTube and stuff, and I've been talking to some of them. Like when I got the Bella art, the Stingray, some of them reached out, let me know what was up with that. So getting to meet them was pretty cool. And I actually even, ended up making a deal and selling a few like original art sketch cards that I had from like 2001 that I'd found recently. So
me too. It's funny. I actually brought all my sketch cards and Marvel masterpieces, all the kind of rare ones that I just had from 2020, and I just figured a lot of card collectors were there, and that's the only stuff I sold. Like none of the original art pieces I brought sold because we were at a table where there's about 10 of us collectors who decided to all throw into a table, and everyone brought their stuff, but honestly, like, I'm small potatoes compared to some of the dudes in the show, and they had some crazy stuff. So like my stuff just looked like modern stuff that didn't belong there. And so
hearing you say that is scary, Carl, because I feel like small potatoes compared to you.
I was definitely Junior over there, Carl's Junior for sure.
That's hilarious.
Well, speaking of awesome art, modern art, Mr. Simone De Mio here. Simone De Mio. He was a big highlight for a lot of folks. I think
you'll get to see some Simone art in a bit. Wink,
yeah,
wink.
for sure. I think we all got some, right? Jason, did you get anything? Not yet.
No. He's definitely one that's on my list, but had to prioritize a couple things, so he got bumped. But actually, I was looking at his commission list. Pre-OAX filled up fairly fast, if I remember.
It went really fast.
It did.
But his process is insane because his stuff looks like computer generated. I've talked to multiple people that said the same thing. They thought that this computer generated.
I thought for the longest time it was all digital.
Well, the big news was he actually is now exclusive to Marvel. They actually announced that right before OAX.
Oh yeah, he's gonna be doing the covers, and I saw that Spider-Man one. Oh baby,
oh so good. Mikal, who's one of our friends, he actually had a Galactus.
The double A3.
Oh my god, that thing is awesome.
A3s, yeah.
And then on top of that, I don't know if this is announced yet, but we'll announce it here. I'm going to just spoil it, but it's going to be a Marvel cover. It's going to be a Fantastic Four cover.
Yeah.
Oh,
see, if we keep talking about this, if I can convince Marvel to do like even just like a 4-part Stingray miniseries, I would have so much published art. I could give them all the variants. It'd be great.
Such a great idea. I think you would be like the go-to cover.
I am the world's premier Stingray art collector.
You know what? You could definitely say that.
I'm gonna get cards made.
All right, so here's cards. Spidey hits. We're following him around. So this is day one. Any memories come back as we kind of follow?
So day one was kind of crazy, right? Because we were working with Tom McDonald trying to schedule out, he wanted to record people picking stuff up. And there was a lot of us that I think wanted to get pickups. And so, we were all trying to get stuff done. And then, just think you get caught up in the show and then things happen. Like, I don't think Tom recorded any of my pickups. But Carl, you got one.
I got one.
Jiggy recorded one for us and he sent that over to Tom. I think we got it done. And like, I know Rick wanted to be the first pickup of the day that got recorded, but some things happened with that too. So I don't.
Wait, we did record your pickup.
You did. I'm saying Tom didn't actually record anything of mine, but you did. Jiggy recorded something. Yeah. So.
Oh, I better send Tom your pickup because that's a good one.
You could send it to me too, please.
Yeah, sorry. I totally forgot. I'm sorry. I did record it. Hey, Wayshack, man. This guy is awesome, man. I love this guy.
You're going to see some Wayshack later too.
Okay.
But he was super cool.
Yeah. Yeah, I love this guy. Super humble.
Dude, the most humble.
Yeah, such a good guy. And like his artwork to me is getting way, way more refined in his own way. And he really owns it because everything he puts on paper is super unique. And then he says this to everyone. I thought when I first got a commission from him, he would say, "Oh yeah, if you don't like it, you don't have to pay for it." I'm like, what the heck? That, right?
Yeah. That's what he told me.
Yeah, I started hearing he says that to everybody, and I'm like, who says that?
Right.
To me, it's like it's just such a nice guy.
Oh yeah. So when I first commissioned him, he emailed me and he was like, "Yeah, just so you know, I don't really do like traditional superhero art." And I'm like, I know, that's why I'm coming to you. I want to see what you can do, And then he's like, okay, well, yeah, so you don't pay me up front. You don't pay me until you see the art and you make sure that you like it. I was like, okay. And so at the show, I met him. Obviously, I got a commission from him, and he was like, I hope you like it. He showed it to me, and I was just like, oh my God, And he's like, oh, so you like it? I was like, yeah, I love it, man. And I just like slid him the cash. He's like, oh, thank you. Like he seemed surprised almost. And I was like, dude, come on, this is killer.
You're paying me for this? Is this
right.
Hey, Jason, was there? I felt like we had a discussion about this before, but what's your philosophy surrounding commissions? Because you're definitely more of a published collector, right?
Well, I've turned into that, and it's just from, I like the commission thing to be more organic. Like the pre-OAX thing was more foreign to me because I like to be able to go the first day, say what I'd like, and then get it by the end of the con. And so, the bigger pieces that I've more gravitated towards now, you can't really do that. You have to be more organized. The more you want, the longer it takes, right? So, but yeah, I mean that's the only thing there. But yeah, I mean I'd love to add a Wayshack piece to the portfolio.
You guys own the Iranga piece yet?
I do. Yeah, I actually own two.
I have one to show off too.
Oh wow, okay. I think I have 2 or 3, and then Iranga actually did 2 variant covers for some of our upcoming release at 24/7 Comics.
Nice. Yeah, Iranga's just a cool guy too. Fun to hang out with.
Yeah, I was really tempted to go for that X-Men piece. That's up there.
Oh yeah. With the whole team that's right above.
Yeah, the whole team, so good.
That was the auction piece, right?
No, it's like a kind of an all-team piece, like everyone.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And it was just a little bit out of the price range, and I think for me too, like I've done 2 DPSs of him, and I have a DPS album now. And it just, at some point it's gonna become an all Iranga, DPS album. So I just felt like I should hold off for a bit and see what else is out there. But Spidey Hits is pretty happy with Iranga's card, which I think Steve actually turned into. He got the art from last year and then turned into actual Marvel card that he gave out.
Yeah, I think I got one of those. I think you did too, didn't you?
I did. I got one of those. Yep. All right. Special galleries. That's kind of where you're walking towards.
Bulls. I didn't see those at the show.
Yeah. Yep. The Santos we talked about already.
Oh, so one thing I didn't do that I was kind of sad about, right next to Dan Dos Santos, there was Carlos. I forget his last name now, but the statue guy. Bill had him on the show at one point.
I missed that too.
He does statues. I walked by, I saw them at one point, but like I wanted to talk to him because he takes commissions. Like you can commission him to do an original statue for you. And I thought that, I wanted to at least, pick his brain, talk to him about the possibility of maybe getting a Stingray statue, but I completely forgot and just didn't get to it.
How expensive is that?
That's why I wanted to talk to him. I have no idea. And when he was on a Bill show, he suggested that maybe you could do it in bulk, right? Like go in with several people, order a handful of them, 5 or 10 of like a specific character, and then that way they could do like a very small batch kind of thing, just to kind of help defray some of the expenses. And that sounded like it would be pretty cool.
I'll do an Azrael one if you do one.
Yeah. Pearl's Collection says price quotes of the statues seem quite reasonable.
Okay.
400. That seems way less than I would have thought. 200
range? Oh, shipping's up there at 200. Okay, so about 600. Wait, that's very reasonable. I thought it was gonna be 4 figures at the very least.
Yeah, same. I may have to reach out to him then.
That makes sense because remember during the auction there was a Captain America piece, and I was asking Alberto how come he didn't go for it. Yeah. And then I guess it got into he said beyond the range of what a commission would be. And it was like, I think it sold for like 900. And so that makes sense.
Even still, that's less. That's like you said, less than 4 figures, which I got to meet Derek at the show. That was really cool. The professor. We got to hang out and talk over at Miller's over zingers and stuff.
Wait, Derek is actual professor?
No, that's his nickname. The professor. Yeah. At least I don't think he's an actual professor. I don't know.
Oh, this guy was awesome. Which I'm on something to show later as well. I got a commission from
Maxi Dallo.
Oh no, I didn't. Oh, I did. Well, actually, I did get something from him a while back. Sorry, got mixed up with Nerf.
You thought it was near, didn't you?
Yeah. I did think it was near. But I will get near. I'll show something from near later. And Maxi Dotto actually ended my Joker sketchbook. So,
oh, nice.
Yeah, he's the closer.
Maxi is on my list as somebody I would like to get a commission from. His art's really nice.
Very thoughtful. Puts a lot of effort into all his stuff. So I'm a fan of Maxi as well. So who else was here? So sequential. Denny's. Do you see Denny's? Jason, I want him to do my Valiant sketchbook.
Dennis Cowan,
yeah. He I think he did the Eternal Warrior cover back in the day, right? Yeah, I want him to do my sketchbook, but I missed it.
Yeah, I actually got him to sign my copy of it over there. Kevin Van Hook signed
nice
for me. But and when Bill opened up him for commissions, that's what I thought about getting him to do was an 11x17 because don't remember what they were off the top of my head, but for somebody who's been around as long as him, it didn't seem like an unfair price for an 11x17.
No, I didn't see that at all. I didn't know he was there until I got to OAX.
Carl, is that for Carl's collection? Is that for Maxi? That's insane.
Wait, what? That's Dennis's rate?
Yeah, who is that for, Carl?
Wow. Morning, James. Mr. Siegel. I picked up a piece from him as well.
I was telling you guys earlier when I went up on Friday night, I went up to the card villa or the penthouse to see what was going on up there. You know who's already there? James Siegel.
Of course. Oh, he was at the card place.
Okay. Yeah, at 1:30 in the morning. He was just chilling, showing off his Joe Jusko card art.
Does he have a secret card art collection or like addiction to pack cracking that we didn't know about?
It's not a secret anymore. Okay, yeah. So Carl says that's the price for Maxi Dallo. That's insane.
Wow, that's insane. All right, who is this? Who are we looking at now? Is this Anthony's booth?
It's one of Jiggy's, ain't it?
Oh yeah, looks like Jiggy's booth. Yeah.
Yeah, because that's a Miko.
Miko, yeah.
Oh, yeah, there's Jiggy.
Hey, Jiggy.
I got to meet Jiggy and the crew for the first time this year. That was great.
Jiggy's a great guy. Look at Mannix. Did Mannix have a lot of new art in this? Oh, I mean, looks pretty empty. But maybe commissions, I'm guessing. Oh, there's a lot of old school commissions.
So I talked to Mannix. There's a commission that I kind of want to get from him in the future, and I talked to him about. Do you guys know the movie Brazil? Terry Gilliam movie from the 1985.
No.
So that's like my favorite movie ever. And I asked Mannix, I was like, he's like, what, if you want to get another commission, what would you get? I was like, do you know the movie Brazil? He's like, yeah, I love that movie. I had to watch it in school. So I was like, I think I got to reach out to Jiggy and we might have to make that happen.
What a great idea. Like doing movie posters.
Yeah.
That's a great idea.
And the fact that Mannix knows the movie and loves the movie, like I can't even imagine what that would look like. But it'll be awesome.
You know what? I know exactly the movie poster I want to do.
Which one?
I can't say. I got
okay. Did you see the one that PG-13 Carl got? He got Back to the Future.
Which one?
The first movie, I think, technically.
Is it the first one?
It's so funny. But yeah, he got Mannix to do a Back to the Future one.
I did. I
want to see it. It's funny. That's kind of exactly what crossed my mind, actually.
Oh, and there's West Coast Dave. I got to meet him. That was cool.
Yes, West Coast Avengers, great guy. Also a fellow Turok fan, right? SCG.
Yeah. His name will come up a little bit later.
Yes, it will. There's a story to be told there. All right, let's keep going. Who else we got? Who's this?
That's Uko Smith.
Oh, what is he from? What does he do?
He's an artist. I'll be honest. I was not familiar with Uko either, but he was doing pre-show commissions and he was on Bill's show when they announced it. But his art is fantastic. He's really, really talented, and he does this interesting. He had one tier, I guess, of commission where he would do your character riding a motorcycle. Yeah, and I thought that was really unique and interesting, and I almost got Stingray on a motorcycle.
That's smart. That's interesting. That's a kind of a cool way to get people in. So,
I didn't get to go to the box breaks. I kind of wanted to, and I considered paying for a box, but to participate. But I had already spent so much money. I just decided not to. But I wanted to go watch, and then I forgot.
What room was this? Like, what room was this? I mean,
so they were like, I think there was a room at the back of where the CAX was that they had closed off until it was time to do the thing. You know,
I didn't even know it existed like that. I didn't recognize that room at all. Look at this. I didn't even know where this was.
Right,
Nikola Tesla.
I didn't see him there either.
It wasn't there. I don't know.
Yeah.
The spirit of Nikola Tesla was there. Yeah, the box breaks. Aaron, my friend Aaron, and I were talking about going to this, but we just totally blanked.
Yeah, I wanted to get one of the boxes to participate in it, but honestly, the prices that they had were kind of high. You could get them way cheaper on eBay, but I get it because they were giving away prizes and stuff, so they're probably trying to pay for all that.
Yeah. That's the nature of box break. You're kind of paying a higher price to be part of the experience.
Right, and you're hoping that you pull something that maybe could be valuable.
Yep, and then when you pull it live, it kind of becomes more valuable because
right. And I think they were streaming that stuff online too, as it was going on. So
I heard they were streaming online. And I heard they were
a whole setup.
Yeah, they were actually making a lot of money selling.
Oh, nice.
All right, I don't know who that is, but let's see whose folder is this. Okay, it looks like someone who was on the card side. Or someone brought their folder to the cart side.
Oh, I think I walked up when Justin was filming this. He was this guy. I don't know who he was. I didn't catch his name, but he had a whole bunch of like New Mutants art, and a lot of it had magic in it.
Andre?
I don't think so.
Yeah, Andre was he bringing a folder? I don't see him. I didn't see him bring a folder.
Bye, PG-13, Carl. It was good hanging out with you this weekend.
Bye, Carl. Later. Good seeing you.
Yeah, I think I walked up and like actually saw when Justin was filming this bit here because this guy had a lot of art with magic in it, and Justin collects magic. So
Justin loves magic. I actually took pictures of magic appearances on my Death of Doctor Strange #1.
Oh, nice. I sent
it to him.
Yeah. So like right after this, when he was done filming, I said hi and introduced myself, and I got to show him all my Stingray art that I picked up over the weekend, and he was pretty impressed. And he loved seeing the Bella piece that I got.
Magic's like I kind of always
Kurt. That's it.
I didn't know Magic as a character much, but
Justin was so passionate about Magic. He was telling me about it. But now that I look at her costume, she looks like she's wearing like a BDSM costume. I understand
that's why people like her.
Yeah, I think so too. A BDSM costume with a giant sword.
Yeah, the big sword is a large part of it. Yes.
Yeah. Well, my thing was I felt she was very manga friendly, but now I feel like she's very like.
I could see that too, though.
Naughty,
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I think a lot of dudes would like to be, stabbed by her giant sword. If you know what I mean.
Spanked by the giant sword.
There you go. The flat of the blade.
Okay, so Jewish Dragon helped us figure it out. It's Kurt, who's a magic collector. Okay, very, very. Yeah, this guy got a ton of magic for sure. Look at this. No wonder. It's like magic left and right. I don't have a ton of like Azrael published art like this. I don't think there's that much. Like when a lot of Azrael pages come up, it's like without Azrael in it. And there's also a handful of like passionate Azrael collectors that I've come to know over time. So,
well, Azrael has had his own series, and of course, through the whole Nightfall stuff. But Magic died in the '90s, and then they brought her back in the early 2000s, I think.
I don't think I knew that.
And so when she died, so she died from the legacy virus.
Oh.
So she was dead. And then she comes back in like the 2004, 2006 or something. Well, when they did, she has this kind of a costume on.
Okay.
So like pre that, she had been mostly a kid since Inferno. So if you remember the 80s X-Men storyline, she goes back to being a kid. In the New Mutants, and prior to that, she was an adult, but she had more of a silver metal, like knight armor look to her. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Oh, okay. And she's Colossus's sister, I believe, right? Okay.
Yeah, she is the youngest.
Yeah, because I think early on, right, they kind of played up the idea that she was younger and she was his little sister, and he was very protective of her and all that.
Yeah, so in Giant Size X-Men 1, Colossus's first appearance, he rescues her from getting run over by a tractor by turning into.
That's right. That's right.
And so he leaves her. Well, then later on, she falls into limbo, which is kind of her mutant power, and then comes back a teenager. And so her and Kitty, which was Colossus's fling forever, which was kind of weird if you think about it back in the day because he was so much older than her. But
yeah, kind of a grooming thing. Like, it's funny now that you mentioned. I never knew it was a fling thing. I always thought it was like a big bro, little sister thing. But I guess it's so it's actually more of a fling thing. Okay.
She had a crush on him. Okay, that's one thing, right?
Okay.
But when they start making it romanticized, but you know how comics, age-wise, it starts to blur.
Yep.
Kind of like Punisher originally started out as being from the Vietnam War, and they kind of made it into more of a Gulf War thing as time went on. But
they've done that like with just with Tony Stark, like the whole war that he was sending weapons to and everything. Like, oh, it was this one, and then it was this one, then they keep moving it forward.
Which is the exact reason why we love Valiant, because Valiant characters exist on a particular timeline, and then the future ones and the past ones are either different characters or there's a reason as to why they're older or younger. So,
yep,
why we should read more Valiant comics. Yeah. All right. So auction. What happened here, guys? Oh, that was fun. Oh, wait, what happened? We skipped the auction. Right. So there's the Magic Night
that's you and Steve playing with his alpha decks.
Correct.
If anybody knows what that means, that's crazy. Crazy.
It was funny. He busted these out. We were waiting for Pill to show up, and then we started playing. And crazy. I mean, these are probably like it's public, so it's like $500,000 probably per deck. Yeah. So we're playing with houses.
I think each deck had a Black Lotus in it.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Yeah, Steve's
you know how nervous I was chewing gum, and I'm like chewing extra often, just like chewing my butt off, going, "Oh my god!"
I hope. Do you think it's going to be in the video here where you get to do the Chaos Orb?
Maybe. Let's see.
I thought that was pretty exciting.
Yeah. So explain. Oh, here it is. Explain it before I get there.
So the Chaos Orb is an old card that basically says that you have to hold it like a foot above the table, and then you drop it, and it has to flip at least one time. And anything it lands on gets destroyed. It's taken out of the game, right?
Yeah, and not to mention it's like a 4-figure, 5-figure card, and I'm dropping it a foot down. So I think,
Well, it was great because you tried it once and it just kind of foop straight down, and Steve was like, "No, that doesn't count." So here you go.
Yeah, it has to flip. He said
it has to flip. So you had to do it again, and you're getting into it. See,
he showed me how it's done. Okay, so
right.
Boom.
And then you blew up his soul ring.
That was awesome. And then the dude in the back's like jumping on a chair up and down.
It was so much fun getting to see that. Like,
and he did that to me. And then it didn't work. So I was like, yeah. That was a really highlight for sure. That was hilarious.
Yep.
Playing Alpha. And I for the most part play Commander, so I just haven't played Alpha for a long time. And yeah, Jason, I know you're considering learning, and like he was so generous he actually bought these foundation decks, these boxes, and then people got to kind of use foundation as like a learning deck.
Well, when you started mentioning some of these names like the Black Lotus, it scratched the rust off the brain because back when Magic first came out, like I bought the boxes and did the box breaks and built the decks and everything else like that. So, but it's been good grief, 30 years now. It's hard to believe it'd be 30 years now.
Yeah, it's crazy. What are we talking about here? She's very popular now. Okay, so we're talking about Magic. Yes, she is. And then Hoarders High. Next thing you know, Sergeant Rock will be part of the war. Yeah. Was there someone playing Sergeant Rock? There was some rumors of like what's the name? James Bond. One of the James Bonds.
Daniel Craig.
What's his name?
Daniel Craig. I think it was
Daniel Craig. Yeah, the time about Daniel Craig playing Sergeant Rock. It's a game you actually lose your cards when you play. It used to be Hoarders High.
Well, they had ante.
Yeah, you ante, right?
You would
How does that work? You pick a card randomly?
Yeah, you put down like I don't remember if it was random or if you picked, but you would put like a card up, and that was kind of like ante and poker, right? Hey, there's me teaching people and Mickey. Yeah. But you could, at the end of it, whatever you had that you put up for ante, you would lose if you lost the game. There's Dave Palumbo in the corner there. So a highlight for me during this, there was a lot of people at the Magic event, and so at one point I just decided to take a break and go in the back room. Tatiana had some snacks and stuff set up, and I was in there getting a drink, and Dave Palumbo and Jeremy Wilson were both in there, and I got to chit chat with both of them for a while. So that was pretty cool.
I was like heads down teaching people, so I missed it. But apparently, we had a ton of artists there.
I only know of those two. Yeah. I didn't know if Dan
was there. Dan DeSanto was there.
I missed him.
So, yes.
But it was cool because I was talking to Jeremy and Dave, and I said, I wouldn't mind getting the two of you guys to do Stingray commissions for me. And they were like, so
man, those would be great paintings.
Well, did you see the one that Matt DiTullio got from Palumbo?
That was, I told Matt that was the best thing I saw on the wall that day. It was the best.
Yeah. So I think he would kill a Stingray. I think it would be awesome.
So that was last year's Weapon X art from Simone Bianchi that I saw. I was literally sitting behind Steve when he won this, so it was kind of cool to see it on display. So this was like art art.
Yeah. Yep.
You guys check this out at all?
Oh, yeah. Yep.
Go ahead.
Did you guys see the bigger Hildebrandt pieces? They had the Balrog and the one with Frodo and Gandalf.
Yep.
Those are so cool. Yeah, there you go. Yeah,
right there. That was so sick.
Super cool.
Yeah, this gallery was fun. It was it just really showcased, I think, all of Steve's favorite art.
Well, he has so much good stuff.
So much. That and also all the Magic cards too. So it's not just art. What was this?
That was I think that's a Dos Santos, I believe. Yeah. They told him they wanted all of the Fantastic Four in it. So,
oh, who's this?
Yeah,
Bella.
So that was apparently art for a digital card.
Okay,
but
there was there was a story around like being like a Topps digital card, or
something like that. Yeah.
Oh, here's Black Cat. I mean, her first appearance just sold for $1 million recently.
Crazy.
I was talking to a collector last night who told me he just met this collector. Apparently, the guy who bought that Black Cat for $1 million, he's only been collecting for a couple years. So he's kind of new in the hobby.
But he's got just a cool million sitting around.
Yes, but apparently he comes from collecting slab comic books. So his philosophy is really big on like first appearances and whatnot.
Oh, I see.
And yeah, it's really interesting. And we got into this whole rabbit hole of how, us as art collectors, we want to see our character on the page. Right. But there's a whole new kind of generation of comic art collectors that wants to collect for that relevance of that first appearance. So, for example, we talked about was it Fantastic Four? Wait, no, was it? What's Thanos' first appearance along with Drax and everyone else?
Iron Man 55
or something. Yeah, Iron Man 55. So apparently, the owner of that page, who was also at the con at OAX, he evaluates it really, really high because it's the first appearance of Thanos, but Thanos not on the cover. So there's like kind of this, healthy discussions as to like, hey, what is really his first appearance, right? And so is it the page where he shows up, or is it this cover that matters more? So it's really interesting, kind of seeing what's there. Speaking of Thanos, here is a kind of Doom holding Thanos'
spine.
Yeah,
looks like a fatality from Mortal Kombat.
Fatality.
Yeah,
that's what they need to do. They need to do a Mortal Kombat Marvel crossover, and seeing all the characters kind of rip each other's spines off, and imagine fighting Mojo.
Oh my gosh,
awesome! That's a great one. I just commissioned Oranga on something.
Oh, nice.
Remind me, but we'll see. We'll see how it turns. Oh, here's talking about Punisher.
So Justin mentioned a while ago when he was looking at that, which I know the sound's not on, but I've watched this video. So he mentions the fact that Longshot only has 4 fingers.
Correct.
Right.
Yes.
And so the artist's attention to detail. So there's a famous inker who may have inked somebody's who is the president of a certain big 2 comic book company. Not to call any names or anything, but I seen a recent commission that he did where Nightcrawler had 3 fingers.
No. Wait, is he 3 or 4? 3.
Nightcrawler only has 3. Yeah.
3, right? Yeah.
And I'm like, as many times as you've drawn this character, and you missed it, but
Wow.
And yeah, he's not as expensive as the person he normally inks. Oh, that's a great one right there.
Oh, that's great. I'm not a Hulk guy at all, but there was a lot of like solid Hulk art for sure.
Well,
yeah,
anything Cusco does.
There was a lot of dealing going on. We mentioned somebody who bought a first appearance, a first issue of Turok. That same person bought quite a few of these cards. We're probably going to see here shortly.
He did. And I think Swaggle actually did a video on that. Right?
Yeah, I think so.
I think so. Let's see. Swaggle our boy Mickey. There we go. Boom. That same person, the homie Dinesh.
I didn't. He was there, right? I didn't actually get to meet him.
Yeah, he was there. He was one of the collector friends that also was part of the booth.
Yeah.
Let's see. How do I speed it up? Oh, there we go. There we go. So he bought Guido, and there we go. That's Mickey's takeaway from OAX, a Dark Hawk card. So
it's scary because I've been dipping my toes into the card stuff lately.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What?
Hold on one sec. I gotta go find it.
Okay, so that's what Jason was talking about. How Dinesh was there. He bought that. So after OAX, we packed up and left, and we had lunch at a local Mexican restaurant before the airport. And then Dinesh gets a call from Steven, and ended up Steven offering him Mr. Sinister. So initially, he wasn't going to sell it to him, but I think he because he had just like the first 4 that he showed, and then Steven said, "Oh, I already brought it. So do you want it?" And then so what happened was Mickey and I ended up going to the airport, and then Dinesh and Aaron went back to pick up Mrs. Sinister. So that was pretty funny.
That's crazy.
Yeah. Well, and that's what I was telling the folks. I was on a show last night, and they were asking about OAX, and that's what I was telling them is like the deals that were made were generally the deals that were on the side, but there were a lot of crazy deals. I'm sure the dealers made their fair share of money too, but and that's some of the fun we had at Baltimore. And so some of the fun here that I missed out on, because as I understood it, there was like a room that you could like do the,
there was a collector's lounge, which was just the room that the auction was in, but I don't think people really were using it that much.
Yeah. And I wasn't aware of that. And I've seen some people were utilizing that, some great portfolio stuff.
Yeah.
So Hoarder's Hide vote for the vote cover as the first appearance, since it will literally be the first thing they appear on that you see, and first cover appearance story would be first.
Well,
story.
If they're on the cover of the issue that would be their first appearance, yeah, I agree.
Correct. I agree, because like for me, like I think my like probably most prize I would say personal and everything would be my Archer and Armstrong 0, which is literally like the first appearance of them as well as the first cover appearance.
Yeah. Hey, did you get something cool regarding that issue at OAX? Was that the one that Tom gave you the thing for?
What was that?
The overlay?
Oh, he did give it to me. Yeah, that's another cool thing. He gave me an overlay for Archer and Armstrong 0. Mr. Collector asks, are we going to Lake Como? Have you guys been?
No.
It was 2 weeks out. I went to Austria last year, and it was not that far. It was 2 weeks after. Like if it had been like the next week, I would just stayed over and then just rode down there. But it was 2 weeks too much.
What time of the year is it usually?
I don't really know offhand.
Okay. Whenever the mid-year Comic Art Live is.
So like around May?
Yeah.
Okay.
That just sold at Heritage. That right there, because I've been on it. And actually, unfortunately, because the whole long story about Heritage and how their accounting goes, I would have some great card art to be able to show from that same series.
Cool. So you got some?
One, yeah.
Dang, everyone's getting card art. I feel some FOMO now because
that's what I'm feeling, and that's what I'm scared of. I don't need to go down a new rabbit hole, right?
That's funny.
the only card art I have is my Magic the Gathering card art, which I have something on the way.
You have
which I
so
will
much.
show. Yeah, that's the only card art I have for card art. But I actually had a bunch of Marvel card art before, and I sold it all because when I had it, people were not interested. People were like, "Oh, what's that?" Like I would like talk about it, and no one like responded. And I was like, "Oh, okay, this community is not great." So I was like, I just kind of sold it all.
Yeah,
now
but
everyone's into it. Kind of sad.
You weren't patient enough.
But did you guys see this? See this frame? I want to just stop and highlight.
Oh, the frame is awesome.
Yeah, that's why I bid on it. I mean, because
Wait,
I mean the guy.
So this whole frame was on Heritage?
Yeah,
What? I guess Steve got
just
it then?
like
Is
a
that what
month or
happened?
two ago.
Oh, I didn't know that. Okay, I didn't know the whole thing. So, how would you?
I'm
search
gonna
for
look
this?
it up.
Okay, why don't you look it up and then send me a link? I didn't know, dude. It was such a cool frame. I thought it was like perfect because you have the three kind of slice from Wolverine's claws, and you have the four kind of jagged.
Right.
claws
It's just
from
the
Fury.
yellow frame. Like you don't see stuff like that too often. It's really cool.
Such a good frame. Like, so
Yeah.
whoever did that frame job, like awesome.
And the matting on those is really cool. Like they really knocked it out with the framing.
I agree, Swag. I'm gonna premiere something next time we stream, Jason. But it is related to the whole MTG Marvel card art for sure.
Yep. I just got my first paintings from some Magic cards last year, so I'm part of the club.
Yes. So what do you guys think about that? I was talking to Swag about this. We talked about how there's this kind of Marvel art community, and then now Magic art with Marvel characters. He was talking a lot about how the utility of Marvel card art will now start making these Marvel card art like be a, I don't know how you described it, but be something a little something more valuable because of that.
Yeah.
And so do you guys feel like you have similar sentiments to that?
I mean, so if you look at yeah, absolutely. But if you look at like how much the card art for the Secret Lair drops, those 5 cards, right? The Wolverine, the Storm, those ones, those sold for a lot of money. And I mean, sure. I think that intersection of interest from the Marvel card art community, or just the Marvel art community, and then the Magic art community, like there's going to be a lot of people looking at that stuff and trying to get their hands on it.
Makes sense. Yeah, I think so too. I feel like we're seeing some of the Marvel card art selling at an average floor at a certain level. Yep. I do feel like the MTG art is going to start averaging double of that floor. Yep. That's kind of my guess. Who's this guy? Mr. Triple X brother of mine.
VP of Operations.
I know. VP of Operation, Mr. DeTulio.
You have to call him Mr. DeTulio now. He's got a title.
Exactly. It's Mr. DeTulio now. And him and I have a special history and bond. We collectively are responsible for the #1 most viewed video
on CAF.
Comic Art CAF, exactly.
But also shortest view time ever. Shortest ever view time.
But you know what? I don't care. We made.
You still have the title.
We have the title. We have the record. Yeah. So all you gotta do is go check out Triple X Dueling Dealers. I say ADD Triple X for short, but that's also how I got my Triple X Carl nickname.
So it was cool. Sunday night, I was trying to go to bed at a halfway reasonable time because I had to be up early Monday to fly out. But I ran into Matt in the lobby, and he ended up making me go to Miller's to drink with him. So I was out with Matt till like almost 3 a.m.
Dang, that's some bro time.
Seriously. Yeah, for sure, I'm
a little jealous. What do you guys talk about? What were the topics of conversation?
Oh man, I mean, we just talked a lot about the hobby in general. I had talked to him a little bit about next year. One of my goals, I think, at OAX might be to I got one Simone down off the list. I might try to get the other Simone next year. So we kind of discussed that a little bit. Okay. Yeah.
Okay, so here's another video. I really like these folks, Comic Stand. They do a lot of coverage at comic conventions, and it's cool. They're a couple. They walk around and they just kind of speak from like a general perspective. So it's not like they're super deep in comic art, but they
I don't know for sure, but I get the impression that they're relatively new to collecting art. But it's kind of cool to see because they get pretty excited about it, and seeing that perspective from somebody who hasn't been doing it that long.
I do like that. So Jason, any luck on the card art auction?
That's why I'm over here trying to multitask here. I did find that's the you ain't got to show it. I just FYI that's the one that I just won.
Which one?
That one I just sent you a link for.
Oh, you did? Okay.
Let's see.
Oh, cool. You want? Can I show it? Can I show it?
You can. I mean, I don't care.
So,
oh wow.
So this is something that Jason is. This is freaking awesome, dude.
I'm thinking about just leaving it in that frame too.
I mean, yeah, that's kind of cool.
That is cool. Is it the same owner that owned this as well as the?
They all came up at the same time, so I'm kind of guessing because there's a lot of like color art and stuff like that, and they're all framed, and so it just seems kind of like.
Was it like a Wednesday night auction kind of day?
It did end. I don't remember when this one ended. Well, it sold on December the 19th, so it was like an off night. So
is that where the Wolverine Sabretooth went on the radar?
Yeah, that's why can't you go on Heritage and see everything you bid on before?
You should be able to. So it was a Thursday night. That's when it sold. So it was definitely one of those offshoot nights for sure.
Yeah, I was actually surprised I won this one. Really, I was only wanting the new Fantastic Four and the Thing versus Hulk. The other ones I really wasn't as interested in.
Let me see. Sabretooth.
But that's the card set that I collected back in the day.
That's weird. It doesn't show sold items here.
Jewish Dragons. Yeah, Matt was the most sad when the Bills lost.
He was.
He was having a rough night.
Oh, that's why you were consoling him.
Yes.
I will say that on the auction, compared to like the auction at Heroes,
look at that one.
Way better. Way better.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, for sure. I feel like Heroes was hard to pay attention, and then every
year at Heroes, people are talking and being real loud, and the auctioneer guys will try to quiet them down, and it works for a few minutes, and then it just picks right back up, and you can't,
All right, I shouldn't be signing on live on this stuff. That's how people get hacked. Let's see. OAX. What else? What else is there? Other videos I missed? Okay, let's keep going on this one here.
I mean, I've seen like most of these that you've been showing already, so I'm sure there's more. I just haven't really looked too much.
So this one was cool because it was a really kind of wide-eye exploration of Berkey's booth, and here they actually they start calling out the prices, and so I think they were asking Berkey how much, and Berkey got interested and started pulling out stuff from his like secret folder, and then I think he pulls out a Rosetta here.
Oh my god!
And this thing was $700K, I think was the price tag.
That sounds right. Crazy.
And it's funny because on one side of the room it's framed, it's like under security. On this side of the room is just
Berkey.
Yeah, his shirt and like manhandling it, like nothing. So it's pretty hilarious.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah. Oh, wow. A guy who hesitates to give you $50 off on any auction night.
Well, definitely, this guy has like a folder of like millions of dollars in his
and like the stuff that he has. There's an old show that he did with Bill where he was talking about what Hulk covers he has, like Herb Trimpe covers he was buying for $600 back in the day.
What?
And they recently went to auction. and they sold for some pretty nice change.
How big? How much?
I don't remember the exact amounts off the top of
He
my
paid
head.
a lot for this. I forgot what it was, but it was a good amount.
But yeah, so
that was the Ditko one, right?
Yeah.
and so he's got quite the collection. There, the first comic I ever read was Amazing Spider-Man. It was it's right before the Hobgoblin issue, and he's got 8 pages from it, and he just said, made me an offer. I'm like, no, tell me what you want, and we'll go from there.
I mean, there's a reason he's Ramita Man, right?
Yeah,
True. All right, I think we'll start landing on this whole video review segment, and maybe move into show and tell. What do you guys think?
Yeah,
right.
Let's show some stuff off.
All right, who wants to kick us off? All right, whoever got the most Valiant stuff kicks us off.
Oh, wait a minute.
Not me,
I
then.
feel like I'm being targeted.
Let's see, how do I get
Oh my gosh.
get you highlighted on here? There you go. Boom. There we go.
Well, first of all, Bob Layton, and Newell has a very similar story with Bob Layton. You know, he's the guy I've got this many comics to sign. I forewarned everybody that do not get behind me in the Bob Layton line. Somebody did, and while I was getting him to sign stuff, the first book I pulled out that it's uncredited to him, and but when he pulled it out, he goes, "Oh, it's Cheezosaurus Rex!"
Woo, that's
So
hilarious.
excited to see this book.
Wait, what's the relevancy of that? Is it because
It's a Valiant book.
oh, it's a Valiant OG book? Oh my god.
So
So
there's 2 Cheezosaurus Rexes. There's a KFC one. This is like the Nintendo wrestling era of Valiant, right?
Wow.
And so it's uncredited to him in the book, but I figured if anybody knew who done it, he would. And so he takes a picture of it, sends it to this guy who says he's a big Cheezosaurus fan, Rex fan. And he says him and Art Nichols done this book. Now, Art Nichols just recently passed away like last week or week before last.
Yeah, something like that.
From cancer. So, so yeah.
Rest in peace.
Dropped his signature on it. So it'd be fun to get something from this book, but this and that Nintendo stuff you can hang up.
Oh yeah. You weren't just doing the art thing. You had a bunch of books that you brought too. Then.
Yeah, most of them were like early Valiant books that I wanted to get Bob's signature added to.
So cool.
But there was a couple, few here and there that, and so the story with the commission was Bob's commission list opens up. One of the first ones I picked up. He happily accepted it and was done with it the next day. Awesome work. I mean, he's a machine.
He's fast.
And so I get there and I say, "Hey, Bob, I need to pick up my commission." And he goes, "You already got it." Nope. And so we did this little back and forth for a second. And he goes, "I think I know where your stuff's at." Well, he says, "I'm going to get the guy. Don't worry about it. I'm going to get the guy, blah, 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 blah." So I make some rounds and he catches me again. And he says, "Hey, Jason. He said, I talked to the guy. He's going to look in this stuff." Okay, great. Fine. Well, what was funny was I'd walk back up to his booth and Newell walks up and he says, "Hey, what about my commission?" And he goes, "You already got it." He says the exact same thing he told Newell. I mean, me. And I'm like, "I guess yours is in the same spot."
And it was.
And it was.
Wait, so was this person at OAX?
Yeah.
As it
So-
happens, he was at AOX.
So what Bob said happened was, he was in Florida back in like November, December timeframe. His grandson got married or something, I think.
Yeah.
And so he brought some stuff with him and he had shipped or give a bunch of art to this guy that he works with for charity stuff, right? And apparently our commissions got mixed in with that. And so this guy had it, but apparently the guy never noticed or just never sent it back to Bob or whatever. So he still had it. And that guy was at OAX. So Bob literally like got up from his booth and was chasing him down and found him. And the guy had both of our commissions with him. So we were able to get him.
That's hilarious. I mean, in parallel to that story, I had gone to Korea in November and I emailed Bob because I wanted him to get into my Valiant sketchbook. And we literally had the exact same itinerary of him flying out of Korea to Florida and returning to Korea while I'm flying back. So
missed each other those exact 2 weeks.
Crazy.
Wow.
That's so funny.
Yeah, I wanted to get him to do something in my sketchbook too. I felt like it was only right, but he wasn't doing anything there at the con. And
He doesn't. So it makes me wonder. Like I was saying, like who was I saying this to? I was saying it's the net. I was like, does he work with digital or something? Because he turns things around so quickly when he's not at the con, but at the con he never works. And so I'm kind of like, oh, that's weird, Like I wonder if there's a digital process.
He seems like he's a social person. Like he likes to just hang out. And I know he was very excited, when he was talking to Bill on the show, about doing the WTF videos that he does, where he just goes and messes with people.
Yeah, he does. He was super excited.
Yeah.
So and as I understand it, mine and Newell's were face to face.
That's so funny.
It looked like a piece of paper. The only telling thing was that because his is a color piece, there was some bleed through.
Preview. Yeah.
And so because that bleed through, he thought it was just like something he
blotter paper
in or something, whatever. Yeah.
Oh
the guy that ended up with this, not Bob. Yeah, he thought it was like blotter paper or something. So he was going to throw it out at some point, maybe.
Oh my god, that was sucked.
Yeah.
So
So what did you get, Jason? Let's see it.
Well, I've got. I'm gonna share my screen here. Give a better look there.
There you go.
Yeah. So this is the. So if you want, I think it's got a. Let's see. Can it? I want to do the bigger image.
He did this overnight. He flipped. What?
Yeah, it's crazy. So I told him I wanted a Hulk 340 homage with the Rye Mother God, and of course this is basically also like the scene where they meet for the final battle, right? Where he ends up dying. Of course, I don't remember if I already had the death page at this point when I ordered this or not, but so he had to move the sword a little bit to get the angle right. But yeah, this is what he came up with. And
so good.
Talking to Bob, it was interesting when Barry Windsor Smith. I mean, he was sitting there staring at those Barry Windsor Smith pages. I got him to sign because he had inked them originally, and he's like, "Man, I could turn Barry Windsor Smith on just like that because he just taught me so much." And so he was other than the thinking he lost my commission. Other than that, he was such a fun guy to talk to. But hey, that adds to the thing with this one too. So
is Barry older than him? What's their age difference?
I don't know what the age difference is, but I think Barry's like late 70s and Bob is early 70s.
Okay.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but according to Bob, Barry's lifestyle has led to him not being in the health being in the health that he's in. So.
Oh wow. Okay.
But yeah, so that was definitely a fun pickup. Another fun pickup was the let's see here.
Man, Jason's so good about updating his calf. I'm like the worst.
I did it the day I got it. I went back to the hotel room and put it up there.
I'm doing all my pickups kind of a slow release,
Well, see, y'all are so much more thoughtful than me. It's what the deal is with that. I couldn't stand it not being updated. I just had to have it updated.
Oh, well, I go in and pre-write up my descriptions and stuff. So all that stuff is there. I just haven't activated it yet.
Oh, cool. Okay. So they're not that far in age. There you go. Thank you, Jewish Dragons.
Oh, wow.
Okay. So the next one that I've got pulled up here was a big get. I got it was revealed on one of Bill's shows that when Bart Sears said he was going to cover, he actually had this cover still. And so I immediately reached out to him and said, how much? And he told me, and Carl can vouch for this story because I immediately text him and it's like, dude, am I missing this? I mean, I don't think this is worth this. He's like, yeah, I'm just not seeing it. And so even though it's a very cool homage, it is not the original. I just didn't feel like it had the value there. So I walk up to Bart's booth, and there it is.
Real quick, Jason. Sorry. Scroll up so we can see the art.
Okay, sorry.
Okay.
No worries. Yeah, I forget that I'm sharing it, but you're not in control of it. So sorry. So I seen this, and I say, hey, there's that cover. I said, tried to make a deal on it, couldn't make a deal. And they said, well, just make an offer. And I looked down at the price, and there's the price, and it's half of what they told me it was costing. And I immediately said, so then I go, don't. I had a homeless moment, right?
You FOMO'd yourself into it.
Got it. But nevertheless, there it was. And I'm like, hey, I've got it. It was kind of ironic that the original that this one homaged actually went for sale at the same show.
Same time. Yeah, same show.
Kind of weird. When I posted this on Turok Tuesday last week, or this week, I guess, Dave from West Coast Avengers told me that you picked it up right before I did. He said, I seen it and I walked off, come back, and lo and behold, there it was. So yeah, this is a little bit off-centered compared to the original piece. And then, of course, it's got this extra guy, which is a part of the story. But yeah, so he done the inks and the pencils on this. So
we'll get to it at some point. We'll get to the Baruchi era of Turok. I think we're gonna have to eventually get there just to kind of review it and talk about it. But yeah, I think it was a great get. It's funny because I remember Dave telling me that he saw this and he's thinking about it. He saw one of my do a powerbomb pages, and then he saw something else that Wolvie Fan had, and I think he ended up pulling the trigger on the Wolvie Fan piece first, and then he may have gone to this, and then it was gone already. So,
I just realized something. This is another error in the app, because I posted this in the app and I cannot make this picture bigger. But see, I posted the picture like normally, like through my computer.
Okay.
And see, so I've got to let Bill know that that's another problem with the app.
Oh, so when you click on it, it won't go big. Is that what it is? Oh, yeah, you should let Bill know. Well, what's interesting was, do you guys remember a couple of days ago, CAF was actually down? So the website was down.
I didn't know about that till like the next day, but I was surprised to hear that.
Yeah.
So it was down, and then I was just itching to post, and then I ended up posting on the app. And so I posted a few things on the app that worked, but it's weird. I guess it's on different servers or something like that. So, all right, Jason, continue your show and tell.
So this next piece was one Carl mentioned earlier, that we were on this group text going like, because I had already said, Carl, have at it, like help me be financially responsible. And so I will live vicariously through your collection.
So I just want to interpose real quick. Asking Carl to help you be financially responsible is never going to work. It doesn't.
Yeah, he's a bad influence. He's like, get it,
He's not wrong. He's not wrong.
When I show one of my pieces later, I will tell you what Carl's advice to me was.
You're shaking your head, but yet your heart says yes.
And so this piece right here was the auction piece.
Here's Swagger House too.
Okay, so more than one person saying the same thing, Carl.
Hey man, you guys will thank me later.
So this particular piece was one of the auction pieces donated by Jimmy Palmiotti. So
score it up. Thanks.
So watch this. I posted this on my computer, so it lets me do it to.
Okay, it works.
So this is Solar Man of the Atom 27. I'll show you why I think that Bill had this listed as Solar Man of the Moon. Which is what they refer to it at the auction, even though I told him like that's not right.
Weird. Yeah.
Okay, so Carl actually owns a page which kind of redoes this image, but adds a lot of other stuff up here too.
Yes, it does.
And so anyway, late in the game in the auction Saturday night, Carl says, "Hey guys, I'm out. Whoever wants it." Well, Andre never really said. So I'm like, well, I'm just gonna go for it. So
it's a great cover. It's a great
I should have just said, hey Andre, you want it, or how much you want to go for? But anyway, so that's that, and this is the cover.
Yeah,
so in
talking, very memorable. I love it.
So talking with Jimmy, let's see what day, the first day there, Saturday. So talking with Jimmy Saturday about Solar. I got him to sign some pages I already had. He said, I've got some inexpensive Solar pages over there in this bin.
Oh wow.
So the guy, ironically enough, the guy that I was outbidding to get this is the guy that rated the bin of the Solar pages for so inexpensive.
Yeah.
Because the next day, Sunday, when I went back to get Jimmy to sign this, he says, "Oh yeah, somebody rated my bin yesterday." Like, gummit.
He got all of them too, right? There was like a
Yeah,
good
it's not
amount. There was a good
well, see,
amount.
when he originally told me that, part of me was like, because he had put up some for sale, and I picked up 2 or 3 of them.
Yeah.
And I'm like, those are probably the ones that are left over that I really wasn't interested in. But then when Dave started showing them all, I'm like, yeah, those were some nice ones. I would have picked them up.
Those are nice pages and
Yeah.
nice price too. They're
Yeah.
really
So when I went back to get Jimmy to, or so Jimmy told me that day, he said, "Hey, I got a piece that night." I was like, "Yeah, I'm gonna let Buddy take it." And so I come back the next day. I ended up getting it. So we got to talking about just price points, and that's when he got to talking about, you know, what he thought was a good deal to get people in that entry level drug, so to speak, because for a lot of people, you know, my age and older, it was the spinner racks, right? Going to the grocery store, being able to pull it off. That was your entry level. You know, we don't really have that so much anymore. And so for the price of art continuing to go up, a lot of people it's going to be a barrier of entry. And so that's what he felt like. Hey, I'm going to get some people interested and want to see the art and stuff like that. He actually had Bernie Wrightson Punisher pages in that box, and he said he noticed it and pulled it out. But so somebody could have got a deal. So Bernie penciled him, and Jimmy inked him. Wow. And so wow. The other part about this, and this is why I think that Bill said Solar Man of the Moon.
Wait, what? What is that?
So this is the copy. This is the copy that was attached to the deal. And so Adam is not really wrote very plain. So maybe somebody says, well, what is that is actually saying? They flip it over and it says moon. So I asked Jimmy about this, and originally he was just going to fill this thing all with black as he was inking it. And he asked, do they want a moon there? And they ended up going back with going with all this little color effect here.
I like that. That's better. I'm glad they did that.
Instead of just filling it straight with black and some stars. And so color note, please put star field in skies, what it says up the side here, and put that moon there. So these are often attached to the old Valiant pages still. And
yeah, why is that? I noticed that too. I bought a few other Valiant covers, and they always had these like Xerox copies attached to them.
Yeah, well, you got all the notes written on them and stuff.
Yeah. Okay, so it's more for notes, just so they keep the art clean. Is that what it is?
I think so.
Okay.
So those were my 3 big art pickups. I mean, I got a couple of Immortal Hulk pages that I ended up getting.
Nice. So we do have a Hulk collector here.
Joe Bennett. So as soon as I posted this, somebody else was like, hey, would you be interested in letting this one go?
Is that always a good feeling? But
it's like, man, I really scored, right?
Yeah. And it's always like the worst time to ask is when someone first posted it, because like you're just so proud of like getting it.
Yeah. So this is one of the battle pages.
The Hulk versus Thing.
Yeah.
That's
cool. So the only bad thing about Joe Bennett's stuff is it's oversized, and then so it doesn't go in my normal Hulk portfolio. It has to go in my oversized one.
I bought a DPS folder recently for that very reason, for all the oversized stuff.
Oh yeah,
yeah. Is that everything?
Yeah, that's basically it.
All right, Noel, your turn.
All right, I have a lot.
Start with Bob Layton one, and then
yeah. Let's do that.
Yeah, I don't have a ton, so I think you're. I want.
All right, so Bob in the '80s, he worked on Iron Man, and he inked a cover that is special for me, Iron Man number 226, because it has a certain somebody on it. So I asked Bob to do a full cover recreation for me. And
was that his first cover appearance?
Stingray? No. His first appearance was he was on the cover back in '69. But yeah, this is just this. There's a handful of covers that have Stingray on them that are really cool, and this is one of them. And I have no idea where the original art for this cover is. I have no idea if I'll ever get a chance at it or if I'll be able to afford it. So I figured, Bob worked on this cover back in the 80s. So why not, if I'm going to get a recreation, why not get him to do it,
Yeah.
And, like Jason said with this one, he turned it around. I think mine was done in like a week, if not less. And I mean, it looks fantastic.
It's great.
And like I showed you on the back, like he went to town on these colors, and he was telling me, he's like, oh yeah, man, I went over that like 4 times to get the colors looking nice and smooth, and all this stuff. So he was pretty proud of it, and he was upset when he thought that it was lost. And to his credit, he told Jason and I both, like, we'll find it. I'll get the guy to ship it to you. If not, I will redo it. Like we'll take care of it.
Yeah.
So that one was pretty awesome. This one is one that I bought like a couple of weeks before OAX on a interview show with Bill. This is from Hellblazer Dead in America by Aaron Campbell.
Nice.
This has got Constantine, Sandman, and this mountain thing here, Swamp Thing. So you get all 3 of those Vertigo characters on here at the same time. And I just thought that this was a really cool page, and I like Aaron Campbell's work a lot. So I thought I would pit that one up, and Bill gave it to me at the show.
Are you a big Swamp Thing fan?
I would say more Hellblazer, but yeah, I really enjoyed that series. I thought it was a lot of fun. So, all right, let's get into the rest of this stuff here.
Yeah, you went pretty ham for this show. So,
dude, I went all out. I maybe overdid it, but you know what? It was worth it.
Yeah.
All right, so here's one from Aranga.
Nice.
Stingray versus Tiger Shark. Dude, he went to town on this. There's so much little details. There's just the wreckage in the back, the fish, all the bubbles around them to make it look like they're moving underwater and all that stuff. Like, just really, really amazing. And like we were saying earlier, Aranga is just such a cool guy to hang out with. All right, this is Jim Jimenez.
Oh wow, cool! I like that composition.
Yeah, the composition is great. The perspective is great. The colors are all watercolor.
Alberto.
If you look up, especially like in the Cape up in this region, you can see like the bloom in it from the water because it's watercolor. So
yeah,
it's really really nice. I like that one a lot. Let's see. Okay, I was excited because this year at OAX I got to join in, become part of Mannix Mania.
Oh boy, I love how you did that. It's talk about that cape. You told me Mannix had something to say about that, and then Tom McDonald also asked, "How does Stingray breathe underwater?"
I'm gonna ignore Tom. It's the suit, man. He uses it's his suit. He engineered his own suit, and like you saw in that cover, it was Target Stingray because that was during the Armor Wars period. So Tony Stark was going after everybody he thought had stolen Stark tech, and that included Stingray. But Stingray is a smart guy and built his own armor. He didn't need no Stark tech.
That's cool.
But so yeah, with this one, I told Mannix that the cape, it looked kind of like a Spawn cape to me. And he goes, well, I'm a big Spawn fan. So I was like, well, okay, that tracks then.
That makes sense.
And I have to say, like, the color on the camera right now, it just looks like this dark red. But in person, it's like fluorescent. It almost glows. Like it's crazy. I tried to scan this and it looked like ass. So I'm gonna have to take a photo of it to post up on CAF because Mannix's colors are crazy.
Yeah, they are.
Okay, so this next one, this is one you guys have seen before, but you got to see it in person, and this one blew me away. This is an interpretation of Stingray by Nir Levy, which is just absolutely freaking incredible, man. Like, this is one of the coolest things I've ever seen.
Did you talk to him about that? Because, he has literally Stingray in this,
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah. What was the inspiration?
I mean, so it's funny because, like, I got a copy of his art book, and it just says, in like, a lot of his art, it's based off of, like, famous paintings and that kind of thing. The note for that one just says Stingray as a scuba diver. But
I was inspired by National Geographics.
Right. But so Nir does his colors digitally, I talked with him and Tatiana, and they decided that they would do a 1-of-1 limited edition G-Clay print of the colored edition for me.
That's funny.
And this is just so cool.
I'm kind of tempted to do mine. And in fact, when I went up to pick up my Near Levy piece, I was tempted, but then I'll share why later when I do my show.
Yeah. All right. Next, we have Wayshack.
This is my favorite.
This one is insane, dude.
So good. So good.
And so this one was cool because, like we were saying earlier, right? Wayshack I think he was scared I wasn't going to like it. He told me that he had a hard time wrapping his head around the character because he's like, his cape, man. Like sometimes it's cloth, sometimes it looks like it's made of metal. Like, how does it work? You know, and I just thought that was really funny. Wow. And then, so, you know, we saw it on the Bob Layton cover, but he included Iron Man here because he said that was the Silver Centurion version of Iron Man on that cover, and that's Wayshack's favorite version of Iron Man.
That's cool.
So he like channeled that cover, I guess, and put the Silver Centurion version of Iron Man on here, which I thought was really cool. I didn't know there's going to be any Iron Man on here. I wasn't expecting that, but it looks amazing.
This speaks to how thoughtful Wayshack is.
Yep.
He's such a thoughtful guy.
And then the coolest part, I think, is like he said, I only paid for the black and white version. And he's like, he looked at it and he said, it needs some color. And so he just added the splash red in there, which really makes it pop, right? And I kind of looked at him and I was like, I'll allow it.
Yeah. Take it. You've had a very lucky run with color where, you know, often you're getting these black and whites, but all the artists, including
Sean Chen.
Sean Chen. Oh yeah, that was a full-on color. Yeah, that too. What happened? Yeah, he just went all out.
Yeah. Well, didn't you tell me he thought it looked bad in black and white, and the only way to fix it was to paint it? So.
Correct. So he did a fully painted piece for you. That was pretty hilarious.
All right, now this is the one that like I saw a scan of it and I about fell out of my chair, and then when I saw it in person,
oh my god.
So this is Simone DeMeo.
That's freaking beast.
There's the little tiny Namor in the background here. So Simone is crazy, and I talked to him a little bit about this, and I asked him, I was like, had you ever heard of Stingray before this? And he goes, no. So I went and sat down and read all the stories. And, you know, the first appearance of Stingray was in a Namor book, and that's why he put Namor in the background there.
Yeah.
And, of course, this ship here is the actual Titanic.
So sick. That has to be like a #1 cover if they actually gave.
Dude, absolutely. I mean, I think all of these could be covers, but this one, god damn, dude, like this is amazing. And it was just funny because you know, Simone was saying Matt was saying that Simone sat down and watched the entire 3 DVD set of Titanic to get just the right composition for this.
That's crazy.
Wow.
We should make it a mission to get Marvel to publish a Stingray.
I mean, I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
Okay, so then the last one I want to show is like one of the big ones. This wasn't an OAX purchase, but I picked it up at OAX. I won this at auction last month, and this is the one that Carl was very encouraging about. This is a page from Namor the Submariner number 19, the first appearance of Stingray. This came out in 1969. This is penciled by Marie Severin and inks by Johnny Craig. And I don't know if it'll show up, but yeah, there's the Marie Severin signature up in here in the corner. Oh, there you go.
Oh, good.
So this piece is now officially like the cornerstone of my collection. This is the oldest page that I own. It's older than me. It's the only Silver Age page that I own, and it's a first appearance of the character that I collect. So it's pretty amazing.
I mean, it's such a huge page. I mean,
oh yeah,
great page.
Yeah. So this is the one I was bidding on it, and it started going way higher than I thought it would. And it was getting up to like, you know, several $1,000s. And I'm frantically texting Carl and going, shit. What do I do? I don't want to spend this much, but I have to have this. And Carl's like, here's what you do. If you think it's going to go for that much, bid 10K and walk away. I was like, Carl, no, I can't do that. What the Carl, no. Oh my god.
That's what I learned. Like you if you have to have it, go above and beyond and just stop thinking about it.
And if it's meant to be, it's meant to be. And if it becomes unreasonable, like you got it. And
well, fortunately, it was meant to be, but not at Carl prices. So,
but you know what? How would you feel if you didn't get it? If you lost that day? How would you feel?
I'm not going to think about that. All right, it's here. I can sleep with it now. It's fine.
I think there's more regrets of of not having it than
well, and like there was that other page that I didn't get in 2023, the one what we had talked about, Carl, the other first appearance.
Yeah, Alberto. See, Alberto agrees with me.
Yeah, so
well, Alberto's also another high roller too, though.
Yes. We don't all have Alberto sized pockets, so
I don't either. I would say I'm in love with a lifestyle I can't afford. I used to have a friend who has a fashion brand, and I always love that because that's kind of cool. You're like always kind of building for that. But we're in it. We're in it together. It's super fun.
That's right.
I love this. Okay, cool. So is it my turn now?
Yeah.
All right. Sorry, guys. I've been here's my show and tell. I showed the guys earlier. I'm actually doing
Carl's working.
Yeah, I'm kind of working too because I'm really stubborn. And so if you guys have ever like participated in anything that we do for 24/7 Comics, I try to be more personal just as a show of appreciation. And it's gone kind of out of hand because early on it was fine because we had like 100 something people, maybe like 40. And then now we're at like a 400 plus like kind of community members, and so it's completely out of hand. But I want to sign and write every letter, so I asked the guys for some grace this morning, as I will be working and kind of doing this at the same time. But with that said, I'll show one of the coolest things I got. Actually, Jason knows this. I haven't posted the cover yet, but I do own the Bloodshot #2 cover. It was I think Don Perlin, I literally bought it the week before he passed. It was kind of weird. It was like kind of crazy timing. So I think Jason knew what this cover meant to me. I do own the book, but I don't own this. I didn't even know this was a thing where at the time, Valiant was such a popular imprint that a lot of their covers made like wizards, made like comic book collectors, and it was kind of cool. So thank you for this, Jason. This was my one and only Valiant pickup. I also do some screen sharing because I did have a piece that I realized I threw into a folder, and it's a page from Chew #1. So yeah, Chew and Luther Strode are the two books that got me back into reading. About 10 years ago, around 2011, and so I've always wanted a page. And James Siegel, who was here earlier, he owns a cover to issue #1, but he also had a few of these pages that he let go. And so I was really happy to pick this up at OAX as well. Very meaningful to me. I was really hoping that they would come through with this whole anime series. So my pre-commissions at OAX, I totally forgot about these. I found them buried in my folder. But the mystery sketch. Do you guys ever do that? The mystery sketch?
Yeah.
So yeah, so I met a guy who had basically mystery sketches by Mannix 3 times in a row.
What?
Yeah, which is crazy. So it almost feels like some sort of inside trading going on there.
Rigged.
But, yeah, so I got 2. This one's from Elvin Chang, which he was in my Joker sketchbook, and
that's a mystery sketch.
That's a mystery sketch.
Jesus,
so kind of went all out. It was kind of cool.
Yeah, he did.
I thought that was a pretty cool, and I have no idea who that character behind him is, but it's kind
I was
of
going to ask.
Yeah,
almost looks like Shadow Man.
Cover before, but yeah, someone's behind him. And my second mystery sketch is with like a new art dealer group, and I totally forgot.
Oh wow!
The last day at OAX where I realized that there's something to pick up, but it looks like these 2 guys were looking at similar references.
Could be, yeah.
Yeah.
I like both of those though.
They're both cool. I love my Azraels. So really cool. So speaking of Azrael Batman, I also had one from Nier, who did it very differently.
Yeah, that's what Nier does.
Yeah, Nier definitely went all out.
Yours is one that was based on a painting.
I think so. He said it was like a medieval painting.
Yeah, hold on, I'll find it. I got
Him.
the art book right here.
And so I'll go a little closer. I mean, unfortunately, I don't know if it was just the order of things. I think Tatiana wrote Batman versus Azrael. He had Batman like killing Azrael. So I wish it was kind of like the other way around, but it's
so
Batman
it says
Azrael.
It's based on a painting called "A Duel with Small Swords" by Percy McGould, something like that.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean it's pretty sick though.
Really sick. It's really good. So it's funny. It kind of it fits in my kind of Azrael versus Batman, but it's kind of a totally different take. So I like that.
Oh yeah,
it's really special. And he said there's a lot of like Easter eggs. He went through a few of them, but apparently Absolute Batman's in here somewhere.
There's
things. And then it turns out, which was funny, he didn't know it was from me, but he had also done a Joker from the same era in my Joker book.
Yeah. Oh, he also did the art for the badges, remember?
Yes, and I actually wanted to bid on that, but I also had to leave.
Yeah. So I don't know if you knew this, but apparently Near is a pretty big Tradmore fan.
Yeah, I can see inspiration. Oh, here's my true page. Actually, I just found it.
Nice.
I didn't find this morning. Right here. All right, and my last commission, which was actually not my last pickup, second to last pickup. Like I mentioned, my last pickup is premiering on Ruben's show tomorrow.
Right.
This was my Simone De Mio. So this was a year in the making. It was.
Oh, you got a double A3?
I got a double A3, and it was Azrael versus Batman. And it was really weird. It was one of those things where, like, when I first saw it, I didn't know what to make of it. But the more I look at it, the more it's growing on me because it's basically Azrael holding up a sword and Batman's reflections in it. I've seen this kind of composition before, but this was very unique. And I think the reason I was kind of a pause on it is because I specifically asked for like Azrael versus Batman in front of a church.
Yeah.
And then the church is there, but I think I shared with you guys. I wish he went all on the church. But the more I look at composition, it was kind of cool because it's almost like two, 3/4 characters, and it was a very unique look compared to what he's used to doing. So,
Carl, how many bats are in this?
I didn't count.
There's a lot.
Oh yeah, there's a good amount. A good amount in the back. So the church is there. I think I was a little jealous of your Titanic for sure.
Yeah, I would be.
You like Titanics better than churches?
You should totally be jealous of the Titanic.
I am.
Hey, but mine's not double A3. I only got one A3, so.
Yeah, no. But here's what
that's like a whole 340 homage too, and so I mean, I didn't notice the whole reflection thing until you mentioned it either. So
yeah, you know what?
I didn't realize. I thought Batman was just there, and when I looked at it again, I was like, "Oh wait, he's a reflection in the sword. That's kind of cool."
Yeah. So it's definitely one of those that kind of grows on you. I really didn't know what to make of it at first, but it's super fun. I think it's definitely like a unique take.
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm. Needs more Titanic.
Exactly, more Titanic. So I kind of already got on the list for the next commission with him because I have another idea. But that's our show and tell segment, guys. I mean, very fruitful, man. Like OAX was definitely a highlight of the year. How are we gonna top this, man?
We're not.
Should we go Lake Como together? I think that's maybe the next conversation.
That would be crazy.
Yeah, that would be crazy. Don't give Carl any ideas. He'll be like telling us no. He'll be like, "Come on, man! I just got the tickets. Let's go."
Right.
No, I might. There might be a thing. I mean, it'll depend. Timing wise, I think I saw earlier. Was it May?
It's like in the middle of May. Yeah.
So based on kind of my production schedule, it'll probably be impossible because we'll be in the midst of production. But it's a hope and dream for a following year.
Carl, did you see Derek's comment? He answered who that character was in your mystery sketch.
Oh yeah, Biz Laha is the guy in the background on your Azrael mystery sketch. How do you know?
He's the professor. He knows everything.
Yeah, he is the professor. So I only my whole like nostalgia was really Sword of Azrael and then Nightfall. That's kind of like my exposure to Azrael. So a lot of the newer stuff I just didn't read. That's good. Vegan things. That's amazing. Okay, and then we also have. I found
that Wolverine card art on Heritage.
I saw.
Oh, where is it? Let's see. Let me bring it up real quick and share it.
Hoarder's Hat, what have you done?
Jewish Dragons, I will beat Heroes for this year for sure.
Right,
Heroes in Baltimore are the two that I go to besides OAX.
All right, here it is.
Crazy.
What did it sell for? Did it say? I don't want to sign off.
It said for me because I bid on it. It's right under 6.
Okay, that's a good deal then. Whoever got it, I think this was a steal.
I'm pretty sure Steve has that, right?
Yeah, Steve has it. I think he stole it. That's great. Wow, what a great get. I didn't know that it came with the frame like this.
Yeah, I just assumed Steve did that. That's crazy.
Yeah, it's really well done. All right. Any closing comments, guys? I think we're ready to land this episode of TLDR. I mean, a couple of things. One, I would say, Tom, #1 Marvel fan, aka #1 Valiant fan, is what I call him. Tom, I think you did agree that you'll start participating in our little reading exercise because we are trying to go through the whole Valiant library and its cousins, and Noel can only read so much and so fast, so we're gonna have #1 Marvel fan, aka #1 Valiant fan, who has some really great Valiant stories too, of him having to I'll let him tell the stories. He was open to reading some of the titles that Noel haven't gotten to, and then we could all kind of talk about the stuff, so we could move on to VEI and all these other eras. So #1 Marvel fan, I will follow up with you to kind of have you as a special guest, probably on our next one. And then Jewish Dragon asked if we're going to Charlotte this year. Yeah, I plan to be. And so let's see. Go from there. We don't want to need. Okay. Cool.
Oh, yeah, the Bad Eggs page. I've seen several Bad Eggs pages come up here recently. They're not very expensive, so it's good.
What's Bad Eggs?
It's a story from the VH2. There's two dinosaurs. Probably Don Perlin drew it, if I had to imagine.
Okay. So it's like kind of like Devil Dinosaur, but it's like Double Dragon meets Devil Dinosaur.
More like these two little dinosaurs get into trouble about stuff. They had several little mini series of it. Yeah.
Cool. All right, folks. Thank you everyone for checking in. What a great Saturday, and what a great way to recap. And we'll be back soon with another episode of TLDR.
See you.
Thanks, everyone.
Cheers.
Oh, yeah. Cheers.
There you go.